Hi, everybody. Hey, welcome back to the Better Bosses blog. I really do appreciate you spending some time with me each and every week. Hopefully, you're getting as much out of this as I am because I really love sharing information. I really love your feedback. You know, we've been talking about this issue about how bosses don't have to suck. I mean, we've all had bad bosses. I get that. But don't blame them necessarily. Yeah, there are some jerks out there. There just are. And we have to face that. But I think it's a small percentage of the total. I think most of them they're out of their league. They just don't know how to be a good leader. And so we can help. But let's look at some of the comments that I got, because as we did last week, where we talked about the things people really would like to have seen in their bosses that would have made them better, today, we promised to talk about those things that people offered that made them good bosses. Because they did have some good bosses. I know that's hard to believe for some of you, but yes, I have had a wealth of good bosses in my life. I am such a fortunate man. I really am. So let's go to it, because I got the list and I want to make sure we go to the list and not just come off the top of my head, because, well, there ain't much on the top of my head. But anyway, so the first one, and it's so important, and it was offered by a number of people. They had the vision to get the organization where it needed to go. They could see things, I think is what they were talking about. The things that were going to likely happen down the road, not just today, but down the road. Next, that vision apparently made them goal-oriented. Yeah, people don't like to really flounder through life. That's not a good way. Just, oh, let's see what comes up and deal with it. When you're dealing with a group of people, if you want to live your life that way, no problem. That's your choice. But when you're leading others, you really have to make sure that you have a good understanding so that you communicate that good understanding with them and they know what's going to happen. Effective habits. And I think this gets to one that we'll talk about at the end of this list. But do you have effective habits, or do you just go willy-nilly, whatever comes? Yeah. They were responsible, meaning they didn't just blame you for what was wrong, but they said, you know what? I could have done better. Almost every issue that I've seen lately, and one of the biggest issues that the military is dealing with, I have a military background, that the military is dealing with, I really don't blame necessarily just the people that were involved in the problem. I blame leadership for their lack of insight into having that vision about, okay, we're going this direction. What are some of the pitfalls we might run into? And then let's deal with them. And it didn't happen. And good leaders are accountable. When things go wrong, and you know what? We're humans. We're going to make mistakes. But when things go wrong, those leaders say, my bad. I got to own that. Okay? That's a good thing. Next one is they give me ownership. Ownership? Yeah. Wouldn't you really like to have some autonomy in the kind of things that you do? Wouldn't you like to feel trusted enough and feel comfortable enough that you could say, hey, I think we need to go this direction. And at some point they say, yeah, go that direction. Or don't even have to ask us. Just you do what you think is best for the company. Yeah. Okay. They provide honest and timely feedback. People want to know whether or not you believe they're on the right path. And if they are, great. If they're not, okay, let's deal with it. But don't wait till a performance review. Yeah, you sucked all year, but no, tell them. Appropriate rewards and awards for a job well done. But I'm paying them. Okay, that's fine. But there's much more than pay involved in people believing I've done a good job. Pay is not a great motivator. We can discuss that for days. Okay, the next one, it's the biggie. We talked about it with effective habits. They were consistent. Yeah, are you just willy-nilly? Or are you consistent? It's clear that the kind of things that people think make good bosses, they're not rocket science like we've addressed. And we can help you get there. We know how, because now more than ever, when we look around the world and what's happening and everything, whether it's on a big picture scale or it's on just your microcosm of what's going on in your organization, we need lots of really good people to step up to the plate and become great leaders. But a lot of people say, but I don't know how. Well, that's my job, is to try to help you become the best leader you can be. And as I have said often, and I'll continue to say it, I really believe the best place to start is by living with an abundance mentality. To repeat what that means, you got a couple options. Scarcity mentality, people, they live, I win. Abundance mentality, we win. Not you win. That's not going to work for everybody, but we win does. Live with an abundance mentality. When you have questions, you have ideas, you have concerns, go ahead and give me a note. Write on the blog or write on LinkedIn, wherever you're watching this. We'll go through it. Have a great week.